I was kind of bred to earn what I was given. I never got a dollar for free. I don't like being given anything. That's how I kind of, grew up, watching my cousins earn everything they had. My mom earned everything she had. Just because you get drafted in these rounds don't mean nothing. Like, you can get drafted anywhere. You still got to earn your right to be on a team. You still got to go there and earn to be on a 53-man roster because you still can be sitting your butt at home. Me knowing that, I'm really hungry and very eager to get to these teams, and whatever team I get to, work my butt off to get on that team. And I feel like that's going to start with special teams.
Fields it at the 31 and gets knocked down at the 35-yard line.
I feel like special teams is probably the most important part of the game, especially in the league. There's been so many games won or lost based off special teams. I like winning more than anything. Part of winning is kind of running your butt down there on kickoff, trying to protect your punter on punt team. That's how you change the game, change the dynamic of the game.
And that's going to be Alabama football.
I just feel like special teams is just like my thing. I just love it. I just feel like I can't be messed with in it. And yeah, we're gonna find out pretty soon what the league talking about. I mainly grew up around Pratt City, Inslee. It's not too flashy or nothing like that, but either just go outside and play football, basketball, ride bikes or something, just try to stay out of trouble. And for the most part, everybody kind of just took care of each other. Mainly me, my mom, and my two youngest sisters. My dad wasn't around, and we ended up staying with family or friends, and we had a great dynamic as siblings. I feel like because we were moving around and didn't have a place to stay sometimes, and I think that kind of grew our bond to be like the best ever. Like me and my sisters and my mom, we talked to each other dang near every day, and I feel like that's because of what we went through, it kind of brought us together. I would describe my mom as tough love. I just think that's just her, especially when dealing with me. I'm my only son, so at times where she had to be the father, she had to be the father. And the lady raised me tough, man. I feel like that was because of the environment. She had to love me tough, so I wouldn't pick up bad habits, and I appreciate that. And that's my best friend right there for sure. Growing up watching college football, I never had a favorite team. Obviously, my family, are either Auburn fans or Alabama fans, but nobody ever pressured me to like one or the other. And ultimately, that kind of just grew my curiosity towards college football. The two most impactful people that I like to give thanks to is Raheem Collier and my other cousin, Akeem Thompson, their brothers. They kind of started, help with my love for football, and if anything, I probably got my personality from them a little bit because, that's who I wanted to be like when I grew up. I actually quit 1 year of football, my freshman year of football in high school, and my high school coach called my cousin and was like, hey, Q quit, can you go talk to him? And got a call from him. He was like, hey man, like, you gotta get your ass back on the field, man. Like, you never cared about what position you played when you was out front in the yard, playing with your friends and stuff. And you feel me, you shouldn't care now because, you're still gonna be able to, develop and make an impact and eventually go to college. Ultimately, ended up getting back to this, football, and ended up getting my first offer in the sophomore year. My first offer was Auburn. I ended up going to like one of the camps, and I guess I popped, to him, and I remember T. Will sending me down with Coach V and my uncle, and then he was just like, "Yeah, man, we're gonna offer you, dog." And I was like, this is my exact reaction. I was just like, what that mean? He was like, Q, you got an offer, buddy. You can come here. That whole ride back to Birmingham, the song Congratulations by Post Malone, played like 5 or 6 times on the radio on the way home. When Deer drops, 2020, I know it's kind of early, but I feel like I'm making the right decision. I know what my heart is. I'm committing to Auburn University, War Eagle. The most important part about my recruitment was the fact that I needed to go somewhere where these coaches were going to represent me well. And Gus Malzahn, bro, he made sure he stayed in contact with me, and I love that, about him. I was super grateful for them because of that, man. It kind of got my career started. Throughout my process, I started getting more offers and decommitted from there. And I think that was a realization that I really I'm starting to make it in football.
For the 4th straight season, J.O.'s produced an All-American selection, and the latest, Quandarius Robinson.
You don't just make 6'5", 220s strong and powerful, and they don't come around often.
Coach Nick Saban doesn't come around often in a helicopter, but that's just how special Q is.
When I first met Coach Saban, it's almost like the man was a real or something. And when he offered me, I was like, hey, yo, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Just having that talk with him, he was like, I'm gonna offer you. I was like, hey man, I'm doing pretty good for myself. We came back out, I was like, man, I think I'm gonna commit right now. And she was like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, we finna do it. So I go talk to Coach Scott, and then Coach Sav, like, oh, we're gonna commit. And I get a phone call from Coach Saban, and he was like, hey man, I heard you're gonna commit. And I was like, yes sir. He was like, hell, I would've loved if you would've said it in our meeting, but hey man, we're proud to have you. And then from that point on, shoot man, I'm up there with, Malachi, and we got Will on board eventually, and then we got BB, Drew Sanders, Chris Braswell, Roy Dale, Seth. And I think about that picture a lot because it's just thinking about how many dudes is gonna be in the league from that picture. Yeah, man, it was pretty dope.
It was an emotional day for Jackson-Olin linebacker Quandarius Robinson, a 4-star linebacker, one of 12 defensive players who signed with the Tide. He and his mom shedding tears of joy after he signed.
Yeah, my mom was crying pretty bad, and she was just like, her baby leaving the nest, And I feel like any parent that realizes that their kid is moving and going in the right direction in life is going to get emotional. Just that first year, just being away from my parents and my sister, it was rough. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think one huge fear of mine is just being alone. I had immaturities where I'm out partying, I'm out drinking, I'm out, but never have I drinking and got behind the wheel. That was new to me. And it was my first and last time doing that for sure. And ultimately coach was like, we're gonna get you some help. And I think even that with Coach Saban telling me that he was gonna give me some help instead of just being like, hey, you off the team, just kicking me off the team, it was kind of helpful for me because I realized then that dang, this junk could have really been taken away from me at any point. We hear a lot of times where people drink and drive and don't come back from that. And ever since then, my career has never been the same. This is where I started having a more pivotal role on special teams. This is where, I started my life on the incline. My evolution in special teams was ultimately me just realizing that I gotta get my ass on the field somehow. Cause my thing is, if you love football, you love football. It don't matter what phase of football it is. I wasn't just gonna wake up one day and start over Will Anderson. I wasn't gonna wake up one day and be better than Chris Allen. So I realized, all right, if I gotta work my way up, I'm working my way up. And I'm being very modest about that. And I was like, all right, special teams. Whenever I get my reps, I gotta whoop some ass, man. I loved it from that point on. But then it started hatching into something even more than that. I started seeing more plays on defense and my third down packages, going to rush the quarterback.
Now they get to the quarterback. Quandarius Robinson with the sack. It's a loss of 8.
I feel like after that, it just made me hungrier.
Screen set up here, but it's Redwell and a body slam by Quandarius Robinson on 3rd down.
Everyone's got a responsibility. Quandarius Robinson feels it, sees the running back, stays right with him, and makes an excellent play.
I believe it was January 10th of 2024, and it's a Wednesday, I think. And Coach came in there, and he was giving his end of the year speech like, he does every year. He sits his notepad down, and he hit us with a deep sigh. I was like, oh shit. I hope this ain't what I think it is. Once he deep sighed, I literally cut my eyes to Malachi, and we both lock eyes for a second. And I see Malachi get upset, and I was like, oh snap, all right. All right. It was crazy, dog. It was crazy because like I felt so emotional after that. I'm like, I didn't know what to do at the time. GB, Craig Burns, I call him GB, but GB walked up there, man, was like, hey man, y'all give me 72 hours. We're gonna find a coach. We're gonna find the best of the best. Pull the team leaders, you know, from every position into a room, and he kind of just asked us to give us 72 hours before making a decision on whether to be here or not. I think the main thing that I was trying to get people to understand was like, you transfer, you're gonna go to a new team, meet a new coach, and go through the same process. Like, why not stay here with the guys that you know? And ultimately, when they said it was Coach DeBoer, and I met him, shook his hand, listened to him talk to us for the first time, it was like, sounded like Coach Saban a little bit when he talked. And besides, bro, it's Alabama. I ain't had no reason to leave for real. If you leave, it gotta be because of like family and, you know, playing time. But like I said, I like to bet on myself a lot. I really, really, really wanted to start. A week before Western Kentucky, my coach told me, Q, I think we're gonna go with, you know, Quay. Quay's gonna be the starting guy, so practice is gonna be a little different for, you know, this week. I made that deal with myself that I was gonna work on it and just be a good teammate and, you know, be a role player. And I feel like that kind of helped me because, like I said, I'm the type of dude that gets the opportunity. I'm gonna go make me a play for sure.
And a pressure on Finley and slam down. Q Robinson gets the sack and forces a punt. He is sacked. Brought down by Q Robinson.
Just wanted to take a minute and talk about Q Robinson. His father passed away this past week, and such a difficult thing to go through, the loss of a family member. You know, I can't think of a young man that has handled that better personally and with his teammates.
For the most part, man, when I was growing up, me and my dad weren't, you know, the closest. He wasn't there, and we pretty much didn't talk for almost a decade. But then we ended up reconnecting, and you know, I told him I wanted him to come to some games. I think the reason why I played the USF game was really I just needed something to do and get my mind off of it. And I was like, I need to be around my teammates for sure. I'm pretty sure he'd be proud of me, regardless of what I did. I felt like I was just getting started. I felt like I was progressing pretty well, like every game. I felt like every game was getting better and better and better and better.
Some fresh defensive linemen, backups in there for Alabama as Williams bangs off the left side. Really has to run hard just to pick up a couple and set up a 3rd and long again. Q Robinson plays what they call the wolf position, a key part of this defense being looked at by the athletic training staff.
Tried to make the tackle, my arm just got out there. Snapped everything, dislocated my elbow and all. For the most part, you know, I kind of already knew something was wrong and got into the locker room. That's when everything hit me. The pain, the emotions, everything hit me all at once. It's a terrible couple days, and so told me I needed surgery, that, you know, I'm done for the year. I asked him to take me home, and yeah, I just cried on my pillow that whole night. I understand that people go through you know, tough times and stuff in their life. But for me, I feel like I went through the worst of it. So what I try to do is high five somebody, hug, you know what I'm saying? I be trying to spread my little joy because it makes me happy at the end of the day. Being able to walk into that tunnel after a game, seeing my dude smiling. Like I said, that my dad passed away, I needed to be around them to, you know, be myself, feel good. And it's the same thing with with my injury. Like, I had to be around them, letting them know that, like, you know, this shit don't stop no matter who's on the field. I've always told my teammates, like, I don't care how many plays you get. I don't care where you get your plays at. I don't care if it's sitting in the stands. Make the most of your opportunities. And I feel like you just gotta fall in love with that, dog. You gotta fall in love with taking a hard route in life, and feel me, just being proud of yourself that you got through it, and you learn something about yourself every time you go through something. I'm a proud person to say, you know, I'm proud of myself to say that, you know, if these things didn't happen, I wouldn't be the person sitting here smiling in front of this camera talking about draft day.
Medical Properties Trust, at the very heart of healthcare.